Hey there, this is Jake Townsend. I'm the player behind Kieran Cianadel, the gift shop guy when I'm working at the Twilight Bazaar, and you're listening to the Wannabe Heroes podcast.
As the sun hangs high in the sky on this mid-afternoon in Baravan, we find ourselves looking over the Olator Valley. A small clearing in the northern end of the country, we see a familiar, welcoming sight of Pneuma's Twilight Bazaar. While the usual bunch continue to set up the fairgrounds preparing for another night of shows and entertainment, a crew of performers come hiking over the distant hills, returning from another job. A few folks turn to see the faces of their circus family coming home for the day. The air is warm, the sky is clear. There's a very welcoming feeling making your way back over the hills. You've been gone since the day before, having spent the night completing this job. And although it wasn't painful, it was certainly not a relaxing time. But all of you make your way down the hill towards the familiar fairgrounds being set up. Whoever would like to start, you're welcome to introduce yourselves, how the other circus members see their family returning.
I'll go first. Okay, so you see a short human woman with long brunette hair. She wears a tailcoat and a top hat and carries with her a long walking stick with a gem at the end. This is Beatrice Pneuma of Pneuma's Twilight Bazaar. She dresses colorfully. She definitely stands out in a crowd, even though she might not be the biggest in stature. She tends to catch eyes. Yeah, great boots, great style, fantastic lady. I think that's Beatrice.
Okay, I can go next. Kind of hovering maybe a couple feet above or just next to Beatrice, you see a 3-foot-tall fairy with the spotted wings of a moth. She has fluffy antennae and gray hide armor. This is Cricket. She has a pale complexion and medium-length white hair that's tied back in a low ponytail. She wears a fur cowl, and if you look closely, you will see a pair of eyes poking out onto a side, kind of on her hip, and that would be her companion Socks.
Next to Cricket, there is a tall half-elf man. His name is Drayrith Riffentoll. He has messy ash-brown hair, kind of like Andrew Garfield. The hair, not the color. Look, that's the best one I could find. His clothes are a ripped up black shirt that has pockets made of leather that look to be homemade, sewn onto it. In each of the pockets there sits a different card. His pants are these black... why can't I remember the jeans? I never said I was smart. Jeans that have chains going down the legs all the way to the end that end with hooks in different shapes and symbols. His left arm is a silver prosthetic, and on his right arm there is the tattoo of a tarot card. With him he carries a shield.
Okay, kind of shambling behind, in the middle of the rest of the group, you see like a relatively tall, slender, elvish man with bluish-grayish skin, but his posture is very kind of hunched forward, and his nose is currently buried in a book as he is kind of walking while occasionally looking up just to get his bearings with the rest of the group. He wears kind of like I guess the closest thing to describe it would be like a techno ninja style, like clothes, a bunch of straps, bunch of black tight fitting tight-fitting, what do you call it? Just tight-fitting fabrics like wrapped around him, and he has a dark purple, like shimmering scarf wrapped around his neck. And then on his face, you can also see that his very long elven ears are covered in piercings, as well as him having a septum piercing and multiple eyebrow piercings. And he also has a amulet hanging down from his left ear that looks to be just a whirring, kind of clicking clockwork sphere that's kind of turning in and around itself.
And looking over his shoulder, very not subtly, into the book that he's reading is Kyrian Cyanidel, a 5'8" pallid elf with pitch black eyes, a long brown trench coat, a tie that's just a little loose around the neck, and some really messy, wavy, semi-long blonde hair. And he has a magnifying glass on his hip and a short sword underneath the coat. And he's about like 5 inches away from the face of a Puron.
Alright. As you all wander down the hill, you can see familiar faces turning to greet all of you. Some excited, some concerned. You see some a little, like, not disgusted, but just put off that maybe some are a little upset about who made it back.
Oh,
But,
that's mean.
you know, everyone has their feelings towards the group, and some of you are not the most friendly, but there's no prominent, like, disdain amongst anyone in the circus. Immediately, what catches your eye is a small, younger-looking half-elven girl, looking oddly similar to Beatrice, although you know, the hair, this like big curly mop of blonde hair, dressed a little similarly, but a little more a little less colorful and a little cleaner. This is Bria, the understudy for Beatrice, as she's been leaving more and more now at these jobs, and she comes sprinting up the hill to meet all of you. Like stops only just enough to not knock Beatrice over, and is completely out of breath and just, oh, you made it back! Oh, thank gods! I was so worried. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was worried I'd have to perform tonight, and I still don't feel ready for that.
Oh, I'm sure it would be fine if you performed. How was everything while we were gone? Did everything go okay? Is everything all right?
Yes,
Oh,
everything's
okay.
okay.
Cool.
Nothing's on fire. Nothing was on fire either.
Great, you did a good job.
Yes. Everybody's safe, right?
Yeah. You know, everything went super smoothly, and everything's great, and we're back, and you could perform tonight with me if you wanted. Come on, Bria, you and me, family tag team.
I could be there, but I don't know if I want to say anything.
Well, you're not.
You're just so much better at it. I
just don't think you're giving yourself a fair chance, Bria.
Okay, maybe.
I could be like, hi, welcome to Pneuma's, and then you could say Twilight, and then I could say Bizarre, and then we could our arms could like go up at the same time, but like opposite to each other, and we could like choreograph something. I'm just saying, this could be really fun, if you're ready.
Maybe. See? Maybe when everything is all set up and I don't have to... Now that you're here to take some of the stress off, I can prepare. Okay. You guys come on back. We'll get some food for you or something, and we'll get ready for tonight. We're expecting a lot of people.
Oh.
There's already been people coming between the towns and asking, and it's gonna be busy.
Amazing. I'm so excited. Are you guys all ready?
Everyone here is excited too, right? Right, guys?
Yeah, I'm gonna be very excited.
Let me get a nap in.
I'm excited all the time.
Okay, come on. And she hurriedly stumbles down the hill with you guys, a few times almost tripping, just in a panic and excitement. But you guys are welcomed down to the fairgrounds. You see familiar tents set up, familiar carts for some of you where either you live or do your work, or both in some cases. There are, tents set up for games, for performances. There's a small cafe on site for guests who are there for a longer period. There's places to get drinks. There are places to relax. There's a separate tent off to one end set up for crew members and staff members to get their own meals. And at the moment, it's midday. People are setting up for the evening, and the grounds are yours. As you make your way through, the first thing that comes up as you walk through, looking tired yourself, Drayrith, you can see Rask, your other companion, human man, kind of about the same age as you, a little younger, short, shaggy black hair, and just dressed in these this very flashy, like a flashy suit, very colorful, high collar, just carrying around a simple lute on his side. You all know him as this, he's a bard with the circus, but works primarily as a hype man, most often for Drayrith, but just points people in directions for other events. And yeah, he's worked with all of you. He tends to lean closer towards Drayrith as they've built this little companionship. And he runs up and just, you're back. Well, we've already had people asking if you're gonna do fortunes tonight, so it's a good thing you made it. The people here seem a little, I don't know, they're desperate, which could be a good thing.
It's always a good idea, don't you think? A little desperation, tell them what they want to hear, get some money in for the circus, get some money in for us.
Absolutely. You doing okay? You look a little beat up.
Nothing a little rest won't do. Actually, I should be fine. Cricket, you're fine, right?
I'm always fine.
Alright.
What about you, Socks? How are you doing? Socks? Okay, good. He's still there.
Alright.
Forgot that's me. Alright, if you guys are feeling up for tonight, that's good to hear. No one looks too messed up. Everything went well?
More or less. What we did, more or less went well.
Everything went great.
Yeah, it went great. It went great.
Nothing to worry about.
This is us you're talking about.
Well, I suppose.
So there's nothing to worry about. We've got this.
Right, yeah, totally.
Why, were people worried?
I mean, as they normally were. Anytime people leave the circus, they get worried.
Right.
You know, everybody, we're all looking out for each other. Everyone's concerned. We haven't heard from you since yesterday, so you didn't come back in the night. We're glad that everything went well. But, things can happen.
Of course. Yeah.
Wait, we've been gone for a whole day?
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna run and check on my lab.
Okay. Piron just sprints away, completely losing track of time. And even Rask just looks. That's still weird to me.
It's still weird to me as well. Don't worry, Rask.
Well, if you need anything, I'll be around your place. I've been kind of clearing things out and helping lay out where things should be. Optimal passageways for getting people to each booth and each event. So I'll be nearby.
Sounds good. I'll need you for tonight.
Sounds good. He heads back, just continues past you guys on to talking with another group of people. Is there anything in particular you guys would like to hit up first? As Piron has ran off, and we'll hop on that next. But class anyone wants to start with?
I think I'll go after Apiron to his lab.
Okay. So we got 2 going to the lab.
Make that 3. Kieran's also going to join them at the lab as well.
Okay. Kieran's also curious. Cricket and Drayrith and Socks.
Yeah, can't forget about Socks. Well, Cricket's got to drop off Socks in time for the performance, so she'll kind of make her way to the grounds. And I'm assuming she'll make a pit stop to see what the heck is going on with Apiron.
Okay. Drayrith, would you go along or?
I guess I would. Yeah,
Okay.
He would.
Excellent. So
yeah, we're all going to the lab.
in a moment where Apiron runs off and everyone kind of looks around, wondering what to do, you, like, one at a time, slowly just start joining that path to the lab. It's like an uncertain, like, oh, I guess we're going this way. Apiron, you run to your cart. You have a better understanding of this
Yeah.
than I do. If you would like to describe your cart.
Yeah, it's one of those like you can see one of those like old-fashioned cars that kind of have like different parts that fold out. You know, like a wall would kind of move out to the side and like come out with a large tarp coming down, and it's a bunch of just like haphazardly strewn tarps. There's no real rhyme or reason to the colors or anything like that. It doesn't seem like it's too organized. And then once you guys like step inside of the cart. Or like see through the open door, you just see like a bunch of just nonsense everywhere. Like there's random devices and pieces of machinery just scattered throughout the room. There's pieces of paper strewn across the ground. There's a random dagger just hanging from the ceiling. And there's a large machine like kind of off in the corner that has a large kind of like glass dome over it with a bunch of electricity in it. And it looks underneath that there seems to be some type of like almost furnace attached to the bottom of it. And then just otherwise throughout the room is just a chaotic mess of just random stuff everywhere. And you can see Apiron just in there, just hurriedly like grabbing at tools as he's walking and running towards the machine in the center.
Yeah, all of you watch as he panics. You can hear the machine like whirring, and it's starting to sound a little like off-putting. And yeah, you've been gone for longer than you thought you would be, but also longer since you thought the last time you had worked on it. So yeah, you're getting that feeling that he needs some urgent care. And you watch as he like bursts in the side and is grabbing tools. Give me an intelligence roll.
Yes.
Yes. First roll is fix your shit.
Intelligence, that is a 19.
Okay.
Good omen.
Let's see. You take some time and like sit down, gather whatever tools you can, whatever arcane tools as well, to try and like hone both the machine and magic in this. And all of you watch just this like cluster of noises and smoke shooting out of this machine. You see this like panicked movement in Apiron, but this also very calculated. Like every move he makes, he knows exactly what he's grabbing for. He knows where he's ending up, but the face doesn't quite match how. Like his face looks panicked, but his movements are very controlled. And slowly, after a few minutes, you do rein in the machine. Everything is working properly.
Okay. I kind of just like afterwards I kind of just like wipe the sweat off my forehead. I take the little clockwork amulet close to my ear and I just hold it up so I can see it in the corner of my eye. And I just take the tools and I just I walk over to other random spots in the cart and I just place them down there very methodically, very like, okay, this goes there and this goes there. Although there is no actual reasoning behind it, and I'm like, oh, that was lucky. That was real lucky.
Should I have been worried? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next time we stop by your tent before we go?
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll add that to the list.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nothing went poorly, so no harm, no foul.
The circus is still here, so that is good. Yes.
Would it not have been here?
No.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, totally, no problem.
While this conversation is happening, Cricket is kind of flying just above the machine. I'm assuming it's quite tall.
Yeah, it'd be like around 7 feet tall.
Okay, so she's flown up to the top and she's just looking at whatever sort of contraptions there at the very top and just taking a look. Maybe getting a little bit too close for comfort. She reaches out to touch it.
Yeah, you're just gonna see, appear on, like, just out of the corner of his eye, he realizes you're gonna do that. And you guys just see him, like, quickly turn towards her, and he just reaches out both of his hands, from the other side of the cart, and they kind of, like, look like they fractal off of each other. You can see, like, multiple hands, flowering off of, his hand as he, like, faces it towards her. And all the hands seem to grab onto some type of fabric, and he moves his arms around and twists them. And I'm gonna cast Vortex Warp on her.
Okay.
What?
That sounds
First
like a
spell
big
cast of
spell.
the campaign.
Already
Friendly
messing
fire.
with your party members. I
Yeah,
like it.
just it's don't touch my machines, please. Yeah, I'm just gonna
There's-
Vortex
What does
Warp.
that do? 'Cause it sounds terrifying.
So, she needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Otherwise, she is teleported to an unoccupied space within 90 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Of your choosing
Of
or
my
random?
choosing, yes.
Okay.
Okay, con save. Does Socks need to roll too, or would he? Because he's on me
Th-
right now.
He would count as you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 3.
That's a 3? Yeah, no. You fail, and I'm gonna just deposit her, like, as far out of the door, out of my cart as possible.
Okay.
Like, as far away as humanly possible.
You, Cricket, you are playing with the machine, and as your hand gets closer, you can see like Sox's tongue is sticking out towards the machine as well. And then suddenly, as you blink, you just feel this tug on your back, and suddenly, in a straight line, the door opens still, and you can still see in. You are 90 feet away from the carriage.
She's just gonna, close her hand, cross her arms, and just slowly fly back, and then just wait in the doorway.
And yeah, as you like come to the doorway, Perron, he's not even gonna look up. He's gonna be like, "I told you not to touch stuff. I told you.
It looks cool.
I know it looks
He's
cool.
told
I made
all
it.
of us.
Don't touch my
all of
things."
us multiple times.
Yes.
Fine.
Sox just like reaching out from the belt. Just
Can I like reach out and grab like a hidden treat stash I know I need and just chuck one at him?
Yes, you can. And it hits him, and he like looks at it for a moment. He looks a little upset, but it like sticks to the squishy stickiness of the mimic. And, like little tongue reaches out and like peels it off of the side of his face.
Yeah, no change in Cricket while this is happening. She's just too used to hanging out there.
Is there anything else you guys want to do in the carriage? As, things start to wind down. Everyone starts to make their way around, I assume.
Beatrice is just gonna take a moment and like try to organize some things within the carriage.
Beatrice, please don't.
Everything's out of place.
Beatrice, please don't. I will not know where to find it ever.
So she gets to touch that stuff, and if I try to touch that thing, I go all the way over there.
No one's allowed to touch. Beatrice, please don't touch things. You're setting a bad example, please.
Fine.
Thank you. And I'm gonna go over to the stuff she moved and move them back.
Okay. Very carefully just slide things back into like very specific places. Like so detailed you could have an outline around where they belong.
If And you guys are gonna need me. I'm gonna go set up for my performance at the gift shop. It's where I sell t-shirts and mugs that nobody buys.
That's not true. Lots of people love our mugs. Isn't that right,
You know how many I've
Socks?
sold in the past month?
At least 3, because I bought one, and I know someone else bought one, and
Yeah.
I bought one. I bought the last one because I broke mine.
yeah,
Yeah,
A third of the revenue I've made is from myself.
yeah.
You hear a voice just on the edge of the doorway. Well, at least it's money going to the circus. And you see, familiar to all of you, but more familiar to Cricket, you see Gerald, the animal handler. Older. Gerald? Yeah, Gerald. He's an older human man, like bald and like kind of weathered face. Simple, like tan vest and normal, like just normal attire, nothing fancy. And he just enters the like just into the doorway, but doesn't make his way into the carriage. And I mean, you do some good work over there, but yeah, sales have been down quite a bit. I'm sure at no fault of your own.
Kieran's gonna look to the rest of the group for some assurance that it's not because of him. I'm personable with people, right, guys?
Oh yeah, yeah. Features is just gonna nod and smile. Thumbs up.
Drareth takes a card out of his pocket, looks at it, and just goes, "Sure."
Well, I'm so glad that I have you all as my friends.
No.
I'm gonna go and try to sell a mug.
There'll be big
No,
crowds
I'm
tonight.
Sorry?
There'll be big crowds tonight. I'm sure you'll have your chance.
Ooh, I'll sell that mug.
Speaking of big crowds, I saw you come in. Do you want me to take Socks now, or do you want to hold on to it for a little longer?
Could it be okay if you stay with me for a little bit longer?
Yeah,
Unless you
sure.
want to go right now.
It looks like Socks seems to be pretty relaxed and having a good time with you.
Okay.
Alright, just thought I'd check in. Everything's alright with him? You didn't get him hurt too much?
No, Socks can hold his own pretty well, right, buddy?
Alright, well, when you're done with him, you should get some rest if he's gonna perform tonight.
Yeah, actually, I'll probably come with you, Gerald.
Alright, sounds good. Good to see the rest of you back.
Thanks. Well, you guys have a good show tonight.
Uh-huh.
The rest of you as well. Gerald just starts leaving.
Yeah,
Bye, Gerald.
she'll follow.
Has what was Jake's character's name again?
Kyrian.
Kyrian, yes. It's gonna take me a while, guys. Kyrian, after Kyrian leaves, he's just gonna turn to Beatrice and just be like, we're really gonna have to look at merchandising.
Well, maybe we've just had a few slow weeks, months.
Years. Even I know that.
Well, no, you know what? I think our time will come, and you know what? T-shirts and other things. I don't know. Pencils. Do we sell pencils? Maybe we should sell other things. What if we sold what if we had like swords and shields that said Pneuma's Twilight Bazaar?
Do you have any idea how much it costs to get custom-made swords and shields?
What if we got a blacksmith?
Do you know how much it costs to pay for materials to make swords and shields?
Well, point is, I don't think we should give up on it yet. We just need to revamp it and market ourselves better. And yeah. I should go warm up for tonight. Yeah.
And if everyone could please leave my lab, that would be great.
It's really nice in here, you know?
You think?
Yeah,
It's really nice outside too.
yeah, it is. Okay, I'll go.
Thank you. Thank you.
As Darius leaves, he like reaches up to touch the dagger, but just stops, and his hand just like passes right under it. See you later.
Okay. As everyone heads their separate ways, the afternoon slowly passes as more and more of the circus gets set up. You see the games being assembled. You see stalls and tables being built up and hung around, and decorations hung around the field. You see the large tent going up, and obviously some of you are helping. Some of you are just relaxing after a long journey and a long night out. But there is still a lot going on as the afternoon slowly transitions into evening. Was there anything anyone wanted to touch on before the circus starts to open?
I'm just gonna do a quick arcane recovery and just get that spell slot back.
Fair enough.
Can I do a tarot reading for myself?
For yourself?
See if it says anything.
Sure. Okay. Just give me a religion roll.
Religion. 13.
And is this, just to confirm what we've talked, is this like are you using augury, or are you just giving a reading?
Just giving a reading.
Okay. You get messages of new experiences, new feelings, new people, new faces. Unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with the cards as you are, but there's it starts out fairly normal, fairly simple, and then these darker omens start to come through. These changes start to twist into something more concerning. These new places might hold darker secrets to them.
Okay, thank you.
Rask knocks on your tent as he sees you doing this. Everything all right?
Yeah, they're all fine. Just warming up, you know.
Right. Does it tell you anything about tonight? You're gonna be lucky. We're gonna have lots of people.
From what I'm able to gather, we should be making some money tonight.
That's great. I'll be sure to send lots of people your way if you're ready for them.
Always.
Okay, great. He continues along. Then, as the afternoon fades to evening, as the sun starts to set, some travelers come by. You can see people from the various towns around you making their way over the hills, past the tree lines, into this clearing of the circus. You can hear your musicians start to play, wandering around the fairgrounds. You can hear a lot of cheering and younger people coming through at this hour. Children running through the fairgrounds. There's an excitement in the air that all of you, while you've been around it for months or years, depending on your time, never really gets old. It always manages to liven you up. You can hear even some traveling musicians have joined you guys, and they come through. They start playing with other people. It welcomes in the crowd. You see a lot of faces running up to the games, running up to even the food, the cafe, everything, just preparing for everything that the night is going to be. Start Cricket. Would you be at in the animal pens, or would you be on the fairgrounds with the animals? Because they do. There are some prepared for the shows, and then there are animal handlers that wander the grounds with the smaller, more easily manageable creatures just to entertain people.
No, I think she would probably be with the ones that were going to go on stage, just kind of staying out of sight. She's not very hugely comfortable with the amount of attention she gets for being a fairy. You know, given her personality.
While you're in the back, just tending to some of the animals and getting ready, Gerald returns and meets in. So, who'd you have in mind for tonight? We've been getting all of them ready, but if there was any particular performance, if you wanted to get involved tonight.
Oh no, you know me. I'd rather cheer on from the sidelines.
Well, fair enough. Well, then we'll figure something out for the show. Been letting Serenity take over a little bit in your absence. She's been a pretty good hand. Not the most understanding of the animals, but they like her. She seems to understand their natural nature, not so much training them. Alright, if you're good with that. Were you thinking of, going out there anytime? I'm sure you'd be great with the crowds.
I don't know. I find more joy in watching, all that guidance and training that I've done for the creatures be brought to life, and the audience enjoying them. I find, it's their time to shine. I don't want to take that away from them.
Alright, fair enough. Well, we can incorporate you in any performance whenever you want.
I'll keep that in mind.
Alright, and they're not expected on stage for another few hours. I'm welcome to hang out with them in here.
Oh, you know I will.
I know you will. I can remember the amount of times I've come back here and found you sleeping with them, so...
Well, they're just my buddies.
Oh no, it's great. It saves room on the other tents.
I don't want them to get lonely.
Fair enough. Well, I won't bother you until they're ready for the show.
All right.
Okay. As things start to liven up in the fairgrounds, you are all going about your typical evening routines. Let's see. Kyrian,
Hi.
would you just be set up in the gift shop?
Given how slow it's been in the past, he would probably be out smoking a pipe behind the tent where the gift shop is, reading a detective novel, and if he hears footprints approaching, then he will think about working.
Okay.
But you can see a little, pillar of smoke slowly billowing over the tent, and no one's manning it.
Okay. As you're there, you see a lot of people wandering around you, and you're not really hidden, but you're just not in the main walkways to the main alleys that people normally take. But people come by. A few times you get kids running across, and one kid runs up and is like, "What do you do?"
But you don't recognize me? Nephew of world famous detective and... What do you want, kid?
Do you do tricks?
I can do some tricks. I can, and then he's going to reach behind his ear and use sleight of hand to pull a copper piece out.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand roll.
This would be really bad to mess up. Natural 20.
Ooh. Okay.
Just like real magic, but not.
Yeah, you not only is it such a fluid motion, but it's so quick the kid doesn't even barely even notice that you move. And you just raise your hand up with that copper piece and whoa! Okay! Wow! How'd you do that?
Through a lot of practice and something that you will come to know later on as boredom.
Wow. I learn how to do that?
I mean, do you really want to know the secret? It kind of ruins it, but you can do it on your friends.
Well, if it's a secret, then maybe not.
Tell you what, if you buy a mug or get your parents to buy a mug, I'll let you in on the secret, okay?
Give me a persuasion roll.
He is
Buy
selling
a mug,
that
you little
book.
shit. Son of a bitch. 9.
9. This child, like, maybe I don't have any money on me, but maybe I'll see if my parents can get me a mug.
Yeah, you. That would be great. You would be doing me a huge favor.
Okay, I'll go see. And he just darts off.
He's not coming back.
Off on the side, just a few feet away, you hear a voice, an unfamiliar one, coming from the crowd. And just, kids can be cute sometimes. And you see this half-orc man, very properly dressed, short, neat, brushed black hair, a long, light coat. You can see like a tailored dress shirt and pants, very, very proper. I don't suppose you happen to know where I might find the people in charge of the circus?
I mean, this is Oro. This is Oromeyer, right?
No, this is an unfamiliar figure. You have not seen this person.
I have an idea. I mean, as you can clearly see, I'm not the most on the ball person. Can I just do like just an investigation check, or at least a quick once over to see if he looks like he's has a weapon on him?
Sure. I'll say either perception or investigation, just to quickly look over him.
13.
13. You don't see any weapons on him. The coat is kind of like his coat is pulled back as he's got his hands in his pockets. You can see, like, on closer inspection, he has this fine leather vest, and you looking at it, it's reinforced. Like, it's got studded parts to it. It appears to be armored. And you can notice hanging from his hip is this small medallion. It's just a palm-sized silver coin with an image of a scale that's like off balance.
Okay. I mean, look, buddy, if you're here for a job, I mean, you can really just ask about anyone. Otherwise, look for the girl with the coattails and the staff with what I assume is just a fake gem on top.
Coattails. All right, good
Yeah.
to know.
Top hat, really hard to miss.
You seem to be very observant of the crowd, so I thought you might know where she is. I'm not looking for a job for myself, but I am inquiring about your availability.
And you asked the gift shop guy?
You've got a certain look to you.
Kyrian tilts his head slowly and eyes him. Yeah, I'm sure I do. You know what? If you go to that tent, and this is all audio based, so this isn't going to be great. But he's going to point towards the tent where the person who runs everything is. Where I think it's Beatrice who's currently
Beatrice is in charge.
running everything. Yeah, he's going to point to Beatrice's tent and say, "Look, if you go to her, she can help you out. But in order to do that, you have to be a patron. So unfortunately, you do have to actually buy something from the shop, and these mugs are only 2 copper pieces a piece. So
Give me a deception roll.
Come on. Just buy a goddamn mug. Ooh, that's good. That's 17. I like that my quest so far is sell a mug.
Yeah, that's your goal.
High fantasy adventure.
Okay. What was your total?
17.
17. He looks at you and looks towards the tent. And there's just this like faint grin, this kind of like half cocked grin. Why don't I get a mug and one of those owl bear stuffies?
Yeah, right away.
Pulls out a small coin purse.
It's 2 copper for the mug, and the owlbear is one gold.
He just places 2 gold on in your hand.
Are you wanting change back?
No, that's fine.
Good, no takebacks.
And he takes the cup and just like grabs the stuffed animal, and it's like pretty big. It is not life size, but it's like pillow size,
He's bringing it back to
and
his
just
daughter.
tucks it under his arm. Perhaps we'll talk again.
I'm sure we will. Enjoy the mug and the owlbear stuffy.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah. As soon as he is out of eyesight, Kieran's gonna look around. Gerald! Gerald, it happened! It happened!
You're just off in the distance. I don't care.
I care.
Okay. As we continue on in the evening, as the events continue to transpire, Drayrith.
That's
Would
me.
you be set up at your booth currently? Okay. Throughout the evening, it's been, not like crazy busy, but it's been consistent. You've had enough breaks. There's not a line, but as one person leaves, another shows up within a couple minutes, and you can hear very aggressively. Rask is only like 20 feet away from your booth, singing and cheering on crowds, helping other performances as you see a few animal handlers walk by with large snakes wrapped around them, and just it is madness around your tent. You've had some familiar figures, just other friends of the circus coming through and talking with a little bit. But at this point, it's been quite a consistent rush of people with questions. Questions about their future, about their family, about how the weather's going to be and how it's going to affect animals, how it's going to affect their crops. You get one older woman coming in kind of later into the evening, and she doesn't look she looks a little shaky and just a little melancholy, and she was if I my hands have been shaking and sweaty, and I don't know. I haven't always had the most energy. Is everything all right? Am I going to be okay?
That's a lot.
Is there anything I should do? Anything I could do to help?
Let's do a reading first.
Okay.
Right. Do a reading.
Go for it.
For this woman. Religion again?
It depends on if you're being honest or not.
Is that 3rd level?
No, if you want to make an honest reading or just make something up for her.
Let's do an honest reading.
Okay, then that'll be religion.
Okay, religion. Oof, that's a 9.
9. Okay. You take a moment with the cards. You're pulling out just kind of what there is. You're not feeling quite a connection from her and from the cards this time. There's this feeling of, she might just be kind of sick. She might be paranoid. Who knows? She probably maybe could see a doctor. She might just need to rest. It seems like she's making a lot more out of this than it could be.
From what I can gather, It might be best if you go see a professional to get some help about things.
Wait, are you not a professional?
I'm not a medical professional.
Oh, okay.
It's like a doctor or something.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Okay, I could go to a doctor. Is that, did you get a read on what it is in case the doctor doesn't know?
There wasn't a strong enough connection through you to get a full proper reading on what it is.
Probably because of whatever it is I'm feeling. Well, thank you. Is there anything else I should know, and should I... Oh, any help at all?
Honestly, the best thing you could probably do for at the current moment is if you head over to the canteen area, get some water, have some food, make sure you're well taken care of.
That does sound very nice. Okay, we'll start there, and then maybe I'll find a doctor there.
Yes. Possibly. We have lots of people come through the circus.
Wonderful. Thank you. And she places a few copper pieces on your table.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
She gets up and leaves, and Brask, like playing in the crowd, slowly moves over to the opening of your tent and just, what was that?
It was an old woman, Rask. What am I supposed to do? Tell her she's going to die?
Well, no, but that could have been funny too.
But that wouldn't have got us any money now, would it? And you know Beatrice would be breathing down my neck then.
Or it could have gotten us more money.
Hmm.
We don't know. She could get real generous when she thinks she's gonna die.
Could be. But then again, she might run out howling about how she's going to die. Then again, getting Beatrice breathing down my neck.
That's true. Yeah, I don't want patrons shouting that they're dying.
Not a good look for if the tarot card reader is saying that to patrons, you know.
I mean, if it's the truth.
Even then.
Okay, yeah. Good point. Never mind. Looks like he got a few more coming. And he
Alright, I'll get ready.
dips out of the doorway. Okay. The night continues into spectacle. Now you can see a few of your arcanists are wandering the fairgrounds, creating light shows and spectacles throughout. Illusions of more fantastical creatures flying above. It is getting rather crowded here now. It is full with people just staring out at the crowd and looking at like where sales have been. And Beatrice, this is getting relayed to you and to Apiron being kind of handling finances and whatnot. Like it sounds like the big top show is going to be full. Nice. At this time, as some of you are preparing for the big show, Beatrice and Bria are just set up in a small tent where like they've got food and everything for the performers, just having a simple dinner before everything. Apiron, if you'd like, you could be there at this time.
For dinner?
Like just having some food with the others and kind of going over the plans for the evening.
Yeah, after having come back from the adventure, yeah, he'd probably probably just be grabbing something to eat.
Okay, yeah. As all of you are in there just enjoying some food, and there's some other faces in there just relaxing. And Bria is not relaxing, but she is there just with you. She's dressed and ready to go. So, we're doing this together?
Yeah, okay, so like I said before, I'm gonna say, ladies and gentle people, creatures and folks of all kind, it's with the greatest of pleasures that I welcome you all here tonight to Pneuma's, and then all you have to say is Twilight.
Twilight.
Yeah. Pneuma's
Twilight.
Bazaar! And then we put our hands up like this.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then you know what? Just you and I will get a flow going throughout the show. We just introduce acts. We come on and off. You smile. You be charismatic. You can be charismatic.
Yeah.
You can. Come on.
I can. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do this.
Apiron's watching this and he's just furiously rubbing his temples. It's like, oh, damn.
Okay.
Okay, your stress isn't helping her stress, and I can't function in a stressful environment, so you're both gonna need to tone it down a little bit.
Right. Okay. And she starts like, it starts with like taking deep breaths to calm down, and then they speed up, and she starts like almost hyperventilate.
No. No. Bria, happy thoughts. You're gonna do great. I know you're gonna do great. You just gotta get up there, and it's all gonna fade away.
Okay. Maybe I'll go for a walk for a little bit just to get ready.
Okay, but don't take too long.
No, I'll be back soon.
Also, make sure you eat.
Yes. And she like walks over and just grabs like a loaf of bread. I'll take this.
I grab an apple from my plate and I throw it at her as well.
It like she turns and hears you going to throw it, and she turns back and just like hits her in the chest, and she just and like fumbles it a bit. Okay. Walks over towards the opening of the tent, and you hear a as she bumps into a patron. Oh, sorry. And you can hear some faint mumbling from outside, and then she turns back in. Beatrice, there's someone here looking for you.
Oh. Okay.
Appear on this might interest you if you want. It's about business.
Ah, right. Beatrice will stand up and she'll straighten her top hat a little bit, button up her tailcoat, and walk over to the door.
And standing in the opening is this same half-orc man that spoke with Kyrian, and now holding a owlbear stuffed animal under his arm, and you can see like the mug is tied to his hip. Hello, you must be the one in charge here.
Beatrice Pneuma, pleasure to meet you.
Beatrice Pneuma. My name is Viren Kor.
Viren Kor.
Viren's just gonna like hurriedly, like at the wrong moment, just kind of like hurry around and put it. I'm a Piron.
Piron. Yes. Viren.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure
Yeah.
to meet you.
Keeps the books and our records.
Ah, well, then this very well could concern you.
Would you like to have a seat?
Yes, somewhere private enough for you would be ideal. Obviously,
course.
speaking in public would not be the best.
Yes. How long is it till the show?
You've got like an hour or so.
Okay, yeah, we got time. I would know of private places to have business conversations.
Oh, there's plenty of tents that you could duck into really quick, or even like the dining hall setup that you have. Like everyone part of the circus is knows what's going on, so it's private enough.
Yeah, she'll invite him into the tent to like a more back corner kind of table.
He gladly accepts and walks in, and just takes in the area. Very cozy.
Is there anything I can get you? Food, water?
I mean, if you've got, some water, I could use this new mug I got.
Oh, you stopped by the gift shop.
Yes, he's the one who directed me to you.
Oh. Fantastic. And I see you got a stuffed animal too. They're so adorable. I have 3.
It is very cute. I thought I'd support a potential business partner.
And we are always happy to see that. Here, let me grab you some water.
He walks over and sits down with you, Piron, just kind of looks like he looks very serious and well put together. Like sits upright. There's no change in his demeanor as he sits. It's very, very just business the whole way through.
I'm gonna like kind of fumble over to Engine, then just think for just a couple seconds too long about exactly where I want to sit, and then adjust the chair so it's like facing right between him and Beatrice, but I can still lean over to Beatrice enough, and then I'm gonna sit planted right there. and just look at him.
So, two of you. I have been sent as a messenger, hoping to hire your group for a specific task. I've heard about your reputation, and I think you fit our requirements. I represent the Caravis household, a noble family in the city of Tamasir, just to the southeast of here. The Lord and Lady are having some troubles, let's say, and require some assistance dealing with some unruly citizens. And he, at this point, he reaches into his coat and pulls out this small, small scroll of parchment. It's wrapped up with this just simple leather band, and sets it across the table. This will have the specifics as to what we are looking for in a working agreement. But to give you some time to read, but to avoid that, we are looking to relocate your circus for a matter of time that it takes to finish this job. Have you deal with some folks that don't quite agree with the way my lord and lady are handling the rule of the city.
Just to be clear, when you say deal with, what exactly are the intentions?
Well, if they are willing to negotiate, sit down, have a chat with them, but ideally removing any possibility of contesting our rule, contesting the law, and trying to change how things are run.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, we will definitely think about that. You know, the relocating of the circus, though, might be a serious issue. I think we definitely need some time to think about this offer.
Yes, there's a lot of logistics we need to take into account, as well as would you want would you want a small group of the I was gonna look to Beatrice, the circus.
Circus folk, yeah.
Would you need some a small group of the circus to do this job, or is it more of a like an all hands on deck type of situation?
We would like to relocate the entire circus and keep your group under close watch, just so you are all comfortable. And of course, we would pay for your time there, and you are welcome to perform in the city as you see fit. Those who are more accustomed to getting their hands dirty are welcome to take on this role. I would trust your judgment. Doesn't need all of you, and we would like to keep things low profile. It's the main reason we don't want any of the officials getting involved. Don't want any unnecessary attention or unnecessary ill will directed to the royal family.
Of course, yeah. Circus, low profile.
Just as a note, as they're talking, he's just Apeiron's just gonna quickly open up the scroll, and just try and quickly just scan the entire document and just find important things like price, time, price, how long it's gonna take, and anything that would necessarily stand out as being very important.
Give me an investigation roll to try to do a quick scan.
Investigation. Okay.
That is an 11.
11. Okay. It's not hard to get the basic details, and the important stuff is either bold or underlined. But the things that are worth noting, the contract is being offered by Lord Linus and Lady Cleo Caravis. They are expecting an immediate answer and turnover to the city. They are offering 2,000 gold pieces to the circus as a whole for an indefinite time until the job is completed. You would still have to supply your own food and lodging, but they will supply a safe ground to set up. From there, you will be dealing with a sort of criminal uprising and a rebellious group starting to build in the city. Remove all potential threats and remove any thought of another rebellion in the future by any means necessary.
When I look at like the 2,000 gold pieces, is that like for what's our average rate for a job like?
You from that, and it depends on how long it would be. The five of you would probably split 10% or 200, but this is high. Like this is a high request, but it is also like you've been taking on jobs that's like 1 or 2 days or like small stuff to, and you know it's like help deal with animals or help with like a loan shark is harassing me. So for outright request of murder, this is something new.
Yeah, and when it comes to the 2,000 gold pieces specifically, like
it's a very high number.
Okay.
Compared to what you're used to getting.
And Aperon's just gonna kind of lean over to Beatrice. And he's just gonna like point to the 2,000 gold pieces, just like there might be some things that we would have to negotiate with this contract. Just in terms of feasibility and
That is, if we take the contract, which we should definitely discuss further.
Yes.
Before we decide on anything concrete.
Yes, that comes after. Yes. Okay. Yes. So, I'm just gonna say
It is a very generous offer, and I am so honored that you thought of us and you came to us first. We just it just doesn't seem very feasible with our current resources and relocating the circus. I'm not necessarily saying no, I'm just saying that we should definitely have an in-depth conversation about it before we give you a certain yes or no.
Oh, of course, and that's why I came in earlier. We are looking for an immediate response. I can come back after tonight's performance, but I would hope that you say yes, having given this information to you.
Well, we will definitely have a conversation about it. I don't think you need to worry about anything along the lines of that. We have a good reputation because we are good at keeping our mouths shut, so whatever our decision is in the end, I don't think that's something that you should be concerned about at all. But yeah, come by after the show and we will have a definite answer for you.
Well, then I will. I hope you do take some time to read over things. Of course, some portions of it can be negotiated, but the timeline is rather strict. I'll be back after the show.
Great. Well,
Folks, have a good evening.
thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you later.
Gets up and downs the rest of the water in his mug and then shakes it out, ties it back on his hip and walks out.
I will wait a very long time before saying anything. Basically until he's over 100 feet away.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, most of you, or at least I know for sure, Kyrian would be in line of sight with all of this. Drayvith and Cricket, you could be wandering the rounds at this time if you would want to approach if you would want to go get something to eat, or if Kyrian notices the man leaving and wants to move in, but if everyone wants to be involved for the discussion, you can.
Sure, yeah, because he'd probably need to go eat at some
Probably.
point.
Beatrice is just gonna. Is Bria back from her walk?
Yes, Bria is also back.
Bria, how long till show?
An hour or so.
Great. Okay. Can you please grab me Drayreth, Kyrian, and Cricket, please?
Okay.
As soon as possible.
Oh, okay, I can do that. She runs out, and yes, Cricket and Drayreth, you are pulled in, and then on the way back, like from the side, you just hear shouting of just, Kyrian, get in here! We need you!
This isn't a customer complaint, right?
No, just some questions.
That sounds like a complaint, but all right.
Questions from me.
Oh, okay.
All right. All of you gather back in the dining hall. Bria is like sitting just like a few feet off, still there, but not completely involved in this side of the work.
Okay. So we just got a job offer, and then usually I know we wouldn't call you guys in before a show. I know you all have things to do, and you're losing time and money. I totally understand, Drayreth, so I'll try to make this quick. I guess the main thing you guys need to know is we got a very generous job offer that would involve a lot of dirty work and relocating the circus, and I think the answer is no. I understand this is a group decision, considering we've all kind of come into this work together. However, I don't think it would turn out very well for the circus at all.
Yes, but it's a lot of money, and we really do need the money.
How much money is it?
2,000 gold.
Oh my!
2,000 gold pieces, and you want to say no?
Here's the thing.
We don't even know what the job is.
Let me explain the job from what I understand. The lord and lady of a small city are having issues with citizen uprising, and they want that to be quelled and ended for the future. Basically using us as enforcers, and obviously working at the circus, we would keep it under wraps. We wouldn't want people to know. But I have a feeling people are going to figure stuff out, and if it's between this getting blamed on the circus and this getting blamed on the lord and lady, we're going to get thrown under the bus. And that does not turn out well for us. That does not turn out well for the circus. And I just, there's so many things that could go very, very wrong.
We wouldn't necessarily get thrown under the bus. If it's this urgent, it sounds like the Lord and Lady are already under an immense amount of pressure. So that leads me to believe that even if we didn't stop an uprising of this union or whatever it is,
How it was described to us was that it was a criminal organization.
I'm sure that's exactly how they would describe it, being, a spokesperson for a Lord and Lady. That's
Yeah.
usually how it goes.
Point is, we would be a very easy scapegoat. You don't get offered this kind of money for clean jobs, and I'm not saying that we haven't considered jobs that consist of less upright things in the past, but I'm saying this will not turn out well.
Bria on the side just says, and here, like kind of, just like you can see that she's shaking. And you just hear like, I don't like the dirty money.
Well, do we know what the citizens are angry about?
No? And we'd have to sign tonight.
Oh, and
Yes, and they want us to relocate the circus as soon as possible.
Basically, tomorrow morning.
It's a lot. Yeah.
We've got lots of jobs from other people, so you don't need this one.
Yeah, this is also $2,000 for the amount of time that it'll take us to get over there, quell their rebellion or whatever they want us to do, it could be a few weeks, it could be multiple months, and within that time we could make $2,000 doing other jobs.
Without killing people.
Without-
Because I assume that by any means necessary means.
Yeah.
Well,
the-
the contract is still open for negotiation,
I-
and that is the point I wanted to negotiate, because we could, if this takes longer for us to do, we could potentially squeeze more money out of them by putting up fees for, oh, this job took 2 weeks, so we will require an extra fee on top of what we're already getting paid.
I don't think, even if we can negotiate more money, this is not work that I want to sign up for.
Beatrice, who is trying to hire us exactly?
It's, Piron has a contract, the Lord and Lady of...
Caramus.
Do I know that at all?
Give me a history roll.
Can I help? Because I spent some time at his court. We put our brains together.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just the look.
Yeah.
History.
Or else you can roll your own, but you
Okay.
can't.
History?
Yeah.
19.
4.
Frigate, you got no idea. But Drareth, growing up in that royal family, that royal lifestyle, you've definitely heard names go around. You've met with different official families. The Caravis household, while not like a major threat or even major like powerhouse, they've got or they've had a rather tight grasp on Tamasir for a long time, and it's a rather built-up city. Nothing massive, but a decent enough population to warrant an underground to it, basically, like to warrant that underside. They are not the nicest people. They're about business. They're about making sure things are run properly. They're about making sure their fortune is maintained, and yeah, they've got a very strict rule.
Interesting. Does anyone know anything about them exactly?
No?
If Kieran thinks back to the library that he has at his home, is there anything about a list of noble families on the East Coast?
Same for you. Give me a history roll.
That is 9.
9. You can remember reading about different like noble families and different the different cities as they've started popping up with their own rule. You've definitely heard the name, but you can't tie it to anything. You just know that they have, they're one of the more noteworthy groups that, since the death of the last ruler, has started really hammering down their control over the city.
Okay.
Just like a lot of others.
I think it warrants further discussion. I think that if we can talk with the guy, I think we should, but I think we should also add some stipulations for compensation as well.
So you
Because
guys...
we are risking life and limb.
Yeah, we're risking more than our life and limb. We're risking the circus's life and limb, everyone that works here. If we're gonna get involved with this kind of dirty work, whether it's a criminal organization or a citizen rebellion, they're not going to care if a circus gets in their way.
Yes, I would try and negotiate for a hazard fee necessarily for this job on top of everything.
The gold's not going to matter if we get burnt to the ground.
May I say, if we kind of figure out that this Lord and Lady aren't the nicest people around, maybe the citizens would want to hire us instead.
I just don't know if this is something we want to get the circus messed up with. I'm like, if it was just the 5 of us going, I think that would be a different story. But it's not. It's a lot of people that we are putting in harm's way for a few pieces of gold. I just want you guys to fully understand the weight of this decision.
Then let's just say no. We can do that. It's an option here.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I think we should do. I don't want to force you guys to make that decision, but I think it's right for the circus. I think it's right to just turn this down and find money elsewhere. We're not that desperate, at least not right now.
We are pretty desperate, though.
Not that desperate.
I like the idea of saying no. That guy kind of weirded me out.
Yeah. I don't know.
I got 2 gold off of him.
Yeah, we got... Good
Record
job,
profit.
by the way. That was expert. Fantastic job.
You did it!
Yay!
That's really good. We might
Okay,
not
you're
have
onto
to move
something.
into a different spot.
Sorry?
Nothing.
But, yeah, I don't want that kind of blood on my hands. I don't want the circus to be put into harm's way. And quite frankly, I don't think we should be moving that soon. Moving us is a huge thing, and it takes a lot of time and effort, and that alone puts the circus in danger. We basically just got here.
There is also the other question on what would happen if we did say no, because he did mention that we have information.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I was hoping we could all be there to say that. Not saying that I can't handle that myself, but I don't know if I am the most intimidating force around. And it's just one man. He's a messenger. I'm not actually that worried. I think we can talk to him about it and just let him know that it's not going to be a problem. And if he further insists it's going to be a problem, he's just one man, and that makes it a lot easier for us, if that makes sense.
We think he's just one man.
Good to keep an eye out during the show, actually. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we're already worried about saying no to an employer, is that really an employer that we want to work for?
Good point.
Does anyone know specifically what medallion with an unbalanced scale represents?
Can
Hey,
I-
DM.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I make a
Dungeon
check?
Master
If
question.
anyone is trained in history for this
Yes.
one,
Hell
then,
yeah.
then they can make a roll.
What
You
about
nerds.
socks?
Trained in history? What do you mean by that?
Like if you're proficient
Yes.
in history.
Nice.
Socks is not trained in history.
Socks is not trained.
Unfortunate.
Wow,
Better
Mimic's
not be.
not trained in history.
Mimic went to college.
I went.
I've got a non-natural 20.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay. Just the two of you?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a fairly common emblem, though it hasn't been seen around too much lately. It's an older mark of like a merchant guild. So either like being hired out or the family representing, basically just it represents ties to wealth and ties to like structured wealth. But there are a lot of different like merchants guilds, but it's this kind of like unifying one in Baravan. Just you are part of a guild that has power or has money.
Great.
I think we should do it.
Okay. Why?
Okay, you know what I do for a living at the circus, right? It's not as glamorous as what you guys do.
No, but
And
it's important. It's still very important. I just... I mean, I don't know, Kyrian, but when's the last time you've killed a man?
Checking my character sheet for his age.
As a note, none of you would have had to kill a person with any of the jobs you've taken. You've killed monsters, but like never another person.
I've never certifiably killed anybody.
Do you really want to start?
They were very serious on we need to squash the rebellion and make sure that there is no chance of it coming back.
Well, I
Which
think
is
that,
why
well, wouldn't it better instead of killing? I mean, you know, it's all hypothetical right now, but wouldn't the way that doesn't involve any killing at all would just be to talk and see what each party wants?
They didn't ask for a negotiator.
they didn't specify that they didn't need a negotiator either. I think as long as we get the job done within the means of the contract, they have to pay us.
The contract did specify they needed enforcers, correct?
They need people to deal with the problem. It doesn't go into specifics on how.
Okay.
But, like, they want to make sure it does not happen again either.
Well, how about this? If we're split on the decision, why don't we... I think everyone's kind of figured out where they're standing on this. We can have this conversation with him later tonight and make a definite decision then.
Bria sits up in this moment. Just, Beatrice, we're running out of time. I have not been thinking. We should get ready soon.
Okay, yeah. So everyone just really think about it, okay? I don't want to... This is not a simple yes or no. This could determine a lot about a lot of things. So just don't make your decision lightly. And we will discuss this later with our potential employer.
Bria grabs her own, like, somewhat matching staff from the table and, like, shoots her hand up. She's like, my vote is no. And then runs out.
Bria gets a vote, and I run out as well.
Bria
never comes on any of these.
She never gets on it.
Why does she get a vote?
I think because her vote goes with Beatrice's.
Why does she get a vote and not Socks?
Can Socks speak?
Point given. Oh, we gotta go.
I'm going back to my tent.
The parent's just gonna stay where he is.
Okay.
I'm gonna go watch the show because no one visits the gift shop during the show.
Fair enough. Okay. As the evening turns to night, the fairgrounds quiet down a little bit as crowds gather into the large tent set on the back end of the field. Hundreds of people crowded into this massive open ring. The music of performers in the back echoing through the tent. That lively setup that all of you are familiar with, as you prepare for a slight twist on your performance, Beatrice, with Bria by your side, the audience is already cheering as you just start to make your way into the ring. There are lanterns hung around the edges with colorful, like, various sparks of light hanging over the crowds. Various, different shining lights and colors hanging around. You can see you have different arcane trained individuals, casting spells, creating just effects, rings of light and spotlights for you guys, all those kinds of things. Give me a charisma roll as you introduce the circus. And I'll give you advantage because Bria's with you.
Yay. This turned out poorly. It's an 18 or 17 plus my performance. Plus 7, so like a lot.
A lot. Okay. And with Bria there, you step into the spotlight. The crowd crowd cheers for a moment and then quiets quickly as you take your position. Did you want to do an introduction, or shall we go into the descriptions?
They've heard the rehearsal. It's like that, but
Okay.
better.
There is the grand introduction to the crowd. Bria, the second she's on, like, by your side on stage, she's a natural. It's like all the panic is gone. She's just like you've taught her.
Should have given her more lines.
But she incorporates movement. She gets close to the crowd and gets them riled up, gets them involved. But one by one, the performers start making their way out as an evening of shows and displays begin. There are acrobats doing various either trapeze performances, tightrope walks, these interesting like Cirque du Soleil, just human displays and statues as they all hang off of each other. Partway through, the animals begin coming out. You have the beginning of the show is as I change pages. The beginning of the show is Gerald burrowing out under the stage, riding on the back of a bullet, with it like leaping through the air and creating more tunnels, kicking up dust in this very elegant fountain. Various, other creatures, hawks come through, flying, carrying rings. They swirl and dive through flaming rings set up around the area, even like throwing rings that they then fly through. The training is impeccable. At one point, as the music swells from the back, you see a large platform set up with what looks to be a small wooden table set on the ground at the base of the diving platform. And one individual leaps off, does a large twist and backflip, and dives straight down towards this table. And there's a loud panic in the audience as they're dropping from well over 100 feet down. And then in an instant, the table almost doubles in size as this mouth swells up and just engulfs the person diving. And then it is pure terror for a moment. Screams and shouts. And then the mouth opens. And that diver stands on the tongue of this beast, bowing, waving to the audience, the shift in tone immediately to cheers and excitement. The performances go on throughout the evening, as they usually do, with no trouble, with the usual excitement and love and adoration from the viewers. And slowly things come to an end in the evening. You all take your bow, you all thank the crowd, flowers, funny enough, not a negative, but food is thrown, coin is thrown onto the edge of the stage as a few of the bards are running around catching it in hats and in buckets. All in all, a very successful evening. People slowly start exiting the fairgrounds. Kirian, you get quite a crowd at the gift shop as as you dart back, seeing people making their way there. All in all, let's see. All in all, making about in sales about 70-ish silver pieces.
Damn.
Nice.
And as Beatrice, you exit out the back of the tent, very calm, that high energy, everyone kind of spreads out, and as the grounds start to thin, you step out the back of the tent, and your arm is grabbed immediately. And you see that familiar figure of Viren. And it's not like an aggressive grip, but it's just enough to stop you. So, it was a lovely performance. I'm glad I stuck around.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I hope you had time to discuss.
Oh yes, we did actually. There were a few questions, so I was hoping we will be making a decision very soon, but I was hoping there was a few of us that could talk to you about the contract in a few more details before we give you a definite yes or no.
I'm not the one to negotiate the details of the contract. You'll have to take that up with the Lord and Lady.
Could we address questions to you at the very least?
You can address questions now.
Well, I don't know if I have any questions. That was more of my fellows that had things they wanted to bring up. I think things are pretty clear for me.
If it's clear, then shall I expect you tomorrow morning?
I can't make the decision on my own. It's a group choice. We were gonna put it to a vote after the show where everyone had time to think about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was told you were the one in charge.
I am, but I like to take into consideration everyone's decision as well. But if you don't want to give me that time to talk to my fellows, then I'm afraid it's going to have to be a no.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Thank you again so much for coming to the show. And I really do hope you enjoyed your time here. And Beatrice is going to try to walk away.
In turn, this is not something that typically gets turned down.
No, I know. It's a very generous offer. It's just, I don't think it will work for our group. It's not necessarily the kind of work that we really excel in.
Well, that is unfortunate.
Very sorry you had to come all this way.
Yes, not used to getting no's from people. Perhaps a night's rest might change your mind.
Perhaps. I will talk to everyone else and maybe we can finally get that vote in.
Well, maybe I'll be back tomorrow.
All right.
And he just turns away and pulls his coat in.
You have yourself a good evening.
You as well. He just walks off.
Fuck.
As the fairgrounds settle, the folks all slowly wander off. An otherwise successful evening for the group, though the not so lovely meeting for Beatrice. The grounds are cleaned up. Animals are put in their cages. The tents are maintained. A wonderful evening of some drinks and snacks for the circus folk celebrating a great night is had. Slowly, everyone goes off to bed for the evening. Beatrice, it's a restful night for you as you weigh the thought of everything that's gone on. And as the night goes on, you can hear folks, staying up later into the night, some enjoying drinks, some just staying up to chat. It's not completely silent, but for most of you, especially after the day you had before, it is straight to bed. As the night goes on, Kieran, do you sleep in the gift shop?
What kind of question is that? Of course I do.
I just wanted to confirm. Kieran, being so central in your placement, you're the first to notice an odd silence in the grounds as you've gotten used to the conversations from folks, the general noise of animals, and suddenly it all goes quiet. You're woken up in a flash.
He's gonna get up from his little bedroll behind the counter, peer over the gift shop, and move some of the stuffed animals and mugs out of the way. See what's going on.
Give me a perception check.
21.
21. You look around, and at first you don't see anything. It's just dark. There's a little bit of a haze rolling in around the circus grounds. And then you hear this violent crash, this loud breaking of wood and stone, this splitting of what sounds like a nearby stall. You hear shouting and people in the fairground running. You can hear more breaking and stomping. The rest of you slowly wake up to the sounds of this crashing. You immediately spring up, and all of you can hear shouting and running. You hear the smashing of wood, of stone. You hear tearing of cloth and breaking of bones. All of you rush from different corners to find large pieces of stalls and tents torn off and broken. You see members of the circus tossed around, injured and broken. You see in the distance, just now, like crushing the front end of a small table set up, this large, hulking, twisted gray creature, this bipedal hulk of muscle, large claws with these odd, like partially webbed talons, and this long, twisting. I don't even know how to properly describe this monstrous, like unnatural fang face tearing through the circus grounds. That's where we're gonna end it.
Oh,
God
no.
damn it.
He gonna fucking die. I'm gonna fucking kill him. No.
Do you know how much that damage is gonna cost?
My circus.
Our opinion on murder has just completely done a flip flop.
Yeah.
Is my tent okay?
Do you really want to kill a man? Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Just
Now
a
I do.
rough estimate, what does this damage cost look like?
Oh, it's looking
Like 2,000 gold?
It's looking in the hundreds right now. It's a lot of fabric right now, so nothing
Hey,
major.
fabric is expensive.
Like, well, yes.
Can get patched up.
But anyway, we'll see you next time.
Ah!
Hey, thank you so much for listening to the Wannabe Heroes podcast, and a special thank you to James Nicholson for our awesome theme music. If you enjoy our show, you can find us on social media at Wannabe Heroes Podcast on Instagram, or you can also find us at Wannabe DND, that's DND, on Twitter. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.